Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Legacy. My name is Leonardo Caprelli. I'm the Academy Director here at the Football Domain Academy. So welcome back to this new episode, and in today's episode I'm going to be talking about the differences between personal training and team training. Now, this episode comes from a question I got the other day. So this was about 2 weeks ago. A parent wrote me and said, Leo, my personal training session with my coach is not going to plan, and I don't feel my son is getting enough out of it. Now, after I got that message, I decided to make this video because not only is this week's theme the differences between personal training and team training, but also I want to give parents an insight into the value of both. Because I believe there's pros and there's cons to both personal training and to team training. And the purpose behind this video is to educate you on the differences between the two, so that you can get a more clear idea on what it is that will benefit your child more. So, number one, the first difference between personal training and team training is personal training is more of a personal experience. So when you take your child to a personal trainer, it's usually just the trainer and your child. There's not a group of maybe 10 or 11 other kids. It's simply a trainer and your child focusing on a certain aspect of your child's game. Now that is the value that comes with when you pay for a personal trainer to train your child. It becomes a personal experience and it's very individualized training, more specific to what your child needs. Now, in a team training environment, the opposite would happen, because a team training environment will focus more on what are the necessities, or what does the team need in order to achieve the objective to win next weekend's game. So where individual training is more focused on what does my child need, team training is more focused on what does the team need, and what does the team need in order to win and play better the next game. Now, a common theme within team training is that once a team loses on the weekend, what coaches tend to do is the following training session, they tend to focus on areas that team failed or that team didn't do very well in that last game. Whereas in your personalized and personal training environment, it doesn't matter what was the result in the game. It's only focused on how your child played that game and what we need to work on. And this takes me into my second point. So, personal training is a fantastic environment if your child needs help on a specific skill or technique in the game. Now, when you take your child to a personal trainer, what they should be doing is they should be asking you, what does your child need most help with? And that is where the coach can get an insight into what it is that your child needs in order to improve for the future. And every single session will be focused, or should be focused, on what your child needs that at that moment in time. So if your child is struggling with taking players on in 1v1 situations, then that training session should be focused and designed around getting your child more confident in 1v1 situations. Now, the differences with team training is that won't really be the case. Because team training is more of a group environment and is more focused on what the team needs to perform, the coaches will never really coach your child on their weaknesses. And this is where a lot of players develop really bad habits. Because if your child isn't confident in 1v1 situations against a defender or 1v1 against goalkeepers, then if your coach, if the head coach of your team is not coaching that on that specific training session, then your child will never develop it and he will never get better in that environment, in that situation. So this is where the pros and cons add up. Personal training, your child doesn't matter what the result was on the weekend. Your coach, your personal trainer, will work on what are the weaknesses of your child and what your child needs to improve on. Your head coach will not do that. Your head coach will work on what are the areas of improvement of your team. What does the team need in order for the team to win the next game? Now, the third point is accountability. And this is where most players lack, and this is where I believe most players are failing every single day. When you have a personal trainer, you tend to be more accountable to your training because you are being more accountable, or you are being accountable to that coach, to that person. And if that coach and person has set you homework, or he set you an assignment or an activity to do during the week that you have to do it by a certain day, you're more likely to do it because there's going to be an accountability towards it. Because if you get back on the next session, if your child gets back to the next session and that task isn't done, then you're only letting down your personal coach. Now, in a team environment, this might not be the case, and there might not be so much accountability that your child needs to meet, because just solely for the number of players that head coaches have to deal with. And the difference is a personal trainer only has to focus on one group. On one player. Now your head coach has to focus on maybe 12 to 15 players. And the accountability becomes different, and it's not accountability with intent. Your head coach can bring everyone in and say to them, right, this is the homework for next week. But will he follow up on that homework come next session? He may or he may not. That depends. But the focus is around the team and how can the team get better. Whereas your personal trainer will make sure your child is accountable. He will make sure that your child is training, doing the homework, because it's a personal accountability. Whereas a team environment, it's one head coach and 12 to 15 other players, and there's a likelihood that that accountability won't remain high because of that environment. So I hope this video has helped you to understand a bit more the differences between personal training and team training. And if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, we release content every single week, Wednesday and Thursday. So if you like what I've just provided and you would like to see more upcoming videos, please like and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date with all the content we release daily. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.